Chat. What's up, chat? How we doing? Hope you're having a good day. I hope you didn't just hear that massive burp that I just did. Um, for your sake. But yeah, how's everybody doing today? Hope you're having an amazing day. Okay, so I spent about 2 hours today, like me and ChatGPT going back and forth on the best way to do all the audio settings for all the different streaming platforms. And let me tell you, it is a painful process. Just as a way to show some of the pain. Each one of these settings, by the way, one thing I want to do quick is check to confirm that I'm actually speaking and you can hear this, because we've been burned by that before. So one sec, chat. I'm going to keep talking so I can still have the potential to... We've been burned by that before, so okay, that seems legit. I mean, that's good. So our audio still is kind of a thing. But chat, it is painful, let me tell you. So I've played with literally every single advanced setting that we can have, trying to get it up to better color, better audio. Even did a bunch of like driver updates to all the things, and let me tell you, it is a painful process. So maybe the next startup will be simplifying that process because it's legit painful. So God bless all streamers. Yeah, hope everyone's having a great day. I know this is much later than I wanted to get started on this, but we have been trucking in the background. I counted the last change. I was going to do this in one fell swoop just to show you guys what not to do when you're developing. Because basically this is a kind of a train wreck. But emphatically what we did was took all of our list of to-dos from yesterday. And if you haven't caught up, by the way, or haven't checked out our stream yet, welcome. Thank you for joining. Love that. We're now using NPM to run HostFabric because that's what Vercel uses. And you might be asking, Zeb, what is HostFabric? HostFabric is a thing that basically I wanted to create to have this dude in the background. So emphatically what it is an AI co-host for streamers to just show how to just do this in a simple way, and then you can have chats back and forth. And we've been working for about 2 weeks now on this project, and basically it started from a desire to have multiple AI kind of co-hosts to just work with me on a kind of a video podcast situation called MONDAI or MONDAI. And from that, I'm like, I tried the version from Streamlabs, which is this. By the way, no shade on Streamlabs, by the way. They do really good work on this, but one of these, App Store. So they have a thing called Intelligent Streaming Agent, which is actually pretty cool. Like, it's legit a cool way to integrate a kind of AI co-host, if you will. And I tried this, and you can watch the video. I think it's, by the way, super terrible audio because I realized I was using my headphones as the audio instead of the mic. So, you know, you live and learn. But emphatically, what I found was homie here was only really good at talking about streaming things, and I wanted to have a better conversation about, you know, AI in general and just different things outside of like what's happening on this exact stream. So that was kind of the inception of wanting to update our homies here. And so what we have been working on and what you know, we've been struggling through for the past week here. Okay, that's not moving. That's fun. Hold, please. Wow. That's really not moving. Okay, so that's fun. So we can minimize it. That's good. Chat. Anyway, the output of that was what you're seeing here, which is basically a, I don't know, kind of a project to allow for each of the separate 4 kind of biggest SOTA models, so ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and Grok, to basically be a co-host for streamers. So you can see here, currently choosing ChatGPT, and then we can just access that through, not this, through HostFabric, which is kind of dumb name. I don't know. Seems kind of lame, but between ChatGPT and I, it's the best we could come up with. And so we now have HostFabric.ai. And as of yesterday's stream, we went through the somewhat painful process. I'm gonna turn this down just a hair because it's getting into the yellow. So chat, let me know in the chat if it's coming in through okay. But basically what we wanted to do is get this deployed on Vercel, which as of yesterday we did so. And shout out to all the people that came through and helped actually the cause on that. Killa and Chorp, and you guys were really awesome at the end there. So super grateful. And yeah, everybody that came through, thank you, truly. It's been a fun process to get where we are today. But that said, we are still working through quite a few to-dos. Most of these are actually done. I've been just kind of bite-sized piecing all these together today, and about to push an update to Vercel to do so. And basically a lot of this, I should have been live for it, but I was still fighting with Streamlabs, and so I didn't want to basically not do the work on the site, so just kept that going in the background. But chat, emphatically what we did was kind of update 2 things. So one is kind of look and feel of it. So now you can see our buttons aligned to our logo a little better. I think it just kind of draws the eye in a little bit. Still having some issues on debate here, but turn down my... Okay. So still having some issues with debate, but we'll talk through that in a minute. But yeah, otherwise it seems to be working pretty well. Did a lot of kind of behind the scenes work to do a more optimal way to work with Streamlabs, because I was testing this a lot this morning and last night. And what I found was that there are basically, so Streamlabs uses Chromium as kind of the headless way to get the data from whatever it's pulling from. And by doing that, you have to play nice in the sandbox with kind of some of the specific things with it. And I think we're mostly there, but we're going to be testing today to ensure that we actually get the good coming through. So we'll YOLO it. I'm just about to push all of these changes. So we have our GitHub set up to auto kick off a Vercel deployment once we push to GitHub. So let me quick open that up and show you what I mean by that. Okay, so on here, you can see that we haven't committed our changes yet, so we're just about to do that. But once we do so, it will kick off a Vercel deployment and allow for us to be hopefully deployed on Vercel. So made a ton of changes around using npm instead of pnpm, which is basically just the optimal way to do it for Vercel. There were some pain points with that, but overall, I think it's a much better process to do so. So Vercel now is all about npm instead of pnpm as the package manager. And we finally, after several times over and over, locally, we're able to keep that, to get that working. By the way, I think this is a cursor bug. Sometimes you still have these like legacy keep all changes, even though I'm control S-ing, closing it, but we still see our review file thing, which I'm not sure what that's about. But anyway, chat, before we deploy, I'm going to do a traditional please review, or please run a lint type and build check before we deploy to Vercel. By the way, chat, I don't know why I can't move this. This is weird. Actually, let me try Windows arrow key. No. So strange, because I can click inside of here. One sec, chat. Still no. Love that. Okay, well, apparently we're just going to keep this on this screen today. But what I was going to show you is chat. Oh my God. By the way, I was updating all of these. I've about 70% of the way there on a new darker theme background, so it's not like burn your retinas white background. But I finally put the white wine in the fridge today, and you're like, Zeb, you said you were drinking white wine yesterday. Why could you put that in the fridge? Didn't you like have a bottle? No, dear chatter, I bought a box of white wine, and that's my mistake. Like, I was like, oh, I heard a friend, she told me that this is a good brand. It's cheap-ish and still pretty good stuff. And by mistake, I bought a Chardonnay. So, chat, we're going to be fancy, but also it's not lukewarm like yesterday. So, big fan of that. Anyway, you got to have fun, right? So that is what's cooking tonight. Hope you guys are having a great day as well. Hope everything is just, going well in your world. I had 2 other people tell me yesterday, by the way. So I had 2 friends that watched the stream, and they both told me that they watched the stream before they went to bed as a way to like get them to go to sleep. I'm like, A, fuck you. B, cool? I don't know. So apparently this is like an ASMR coding thing. So I don't know. Maybe we'll just lead into it, chat, and be okay about the fact that we're just kind of doing a chill vibe coding situation. So if it helps people have a great day, have a fun time, I'm here for it. So, but let's bring our browser source, which contains our HostFabric background, to this page, so we can have ChatGPT here. This is the alert box. We'll keep that in the middle. And then HostFabric is this. Nope, that's not HostFabric. Okay, I was gonna put him in put it in a box just to, I don't know. I'm figuring all this out. It's actually more complicated than it looks. And I was working a little bit today too to update this background video to kind of invert it from like the white to black as a just, you know, more nighttime vibes, more chill, but it's tricky to do. So in the meantime, we'll be doing this one and talking to ChatGPT this way. So as our test happens, we'll be using that to do so. Okay, so let's see here. So I found a couple build errors after we ran lint. Lint again is, think of lint like a linter, right? Like the thing that you rub on your shirt to say, am I on the right? Oh, I'm not. Hold please. Okay, we're getting closer, chat. It's less. It actually kind of sucks to keep this over here because normally I keep it on my other monitor so I can be a little less obnoxious if I miss when I don't change the scene or not. But again, I'm not sure why this is strange. Just this space bar. Hold please. Yeah, weird. Okay, well, we'll keep it here, and if I'm not on the right scene, just yell at me. We'll call it good. But what I was saying was a lint checker is basically, so think of a linter like you taking one of those lint rollers on your clothes and it just takes off the pieces of lint. So lint is kind of like annoying things that doesn't break the code per se, but just might break best practices, right? So this is a great example actually. So you can see here, this is a line of code in our, what is this, our pricing page. It says test one deeply or try them all, and then add more agents whenever you're ready. Instead of having an unescaped single quote here, which is generally not terrible if it's like in text like this, but if it's in an input, then it could be bad because then you can do things like SQL injections and other sketchy things with that. So it's better to do this, which is basically a escaped version of what this character is. So like ampersand APOS semicolon will pop out as a single quote, but since it's this, it can't be used to like interfere with code or, you know, get caught up in a database that's you know, a potential for bad things to happen. By the way, the best joke for this ever, and if you want to sound cool for like security people, there's this thing called Little Bobby tables. Okay, so it's by the guy that does XKCD. It's called Exploits of a Mom, which is a great name, by the way. Okay, so it starts with, "Hi, this is your son's school. We're having some computer trouble. Oh dear, did he break something? In a way, did you really name your son Robert apostrophe whatever that thing is called again, semicolon, drop table students?" Oh yes, little Bobby Tables we call him. "Well, we've lost this year's student records. I hope you're happy. And I hope you've learned to sanitize your database inputs," which is hilarious and stupid. But basically what it does is says like, okay, this is the end of the row here, and then do a new command, which is drop table students, which means drop is the SQL word for like delete, and then the table students. And so basically it's a super nerdy joke, but we loved it. So I think it's good to sanitize your inputs, chat, including apostrophes where needed. So the other thing is, okay, we needed an export for login page, which is a good thing to have. Okay, but we are passing now, so let's do this. Let's click our generate message, which basically looks through our changes to be made and then gives you a really good list of the updates that are present for that. And then we're going to hit commit. We're going to hit yes, because actually for the sake of this, let's do it the right way. So let's click this button here, which says stage all changes, which means that we want to push all of these files to GitHub. And if you're kind of working on a specific feature or something and you want to know, or you know which specific files that you've been updating and you don't want to do all of them, then you can selectively stage different files. But for our situation, since this is just kind of one massive push and update, we're going to be staging everything. And let's just hit commit. Sync changes. Okay, and then let's go back and check our Vercel instance, which should kick off another deployment. There we go, chat. I guess I did one earlier today too, but forgot about that. I also realized, so yesterday evening, or this morning, early, I should say, the issue I was having with the text-to-speech was this OpenAI API key. I switched it out before yesterday because I accidentally showed chat the API key, womp womp, and forgot to add the new version. So in a way, it was actually a good test to confirm that we are good to go on that. But yeah. This should take about 2 minutes is what it's been going with of late. So let's see if we are good to go with that. I'm not sure what those mean, but as long as it continues to compile, that's great. Serializing big strings. Okay. We don't care about that. How's your day going, chat? You guys having fun? Do anything fun today? Happy almost Friday, by the way. Hope everybody's having an awesome week so far. And thank you for joining. And just like that, chat, it's ready. Let's go. So 1 minute, 42 seconds. So that's a good thing. And the reason it gets faster, by the way, is a lot of the stuff that it is using to build this from is already cached. So it can build it quicker kind of going forward, which is good. Right, so then we don't have to worry about that taking forever every time we make an update. But yeah, so a couple things. First, I added a cookies banner just because that's important to do. So we have takes you to your privacy policy. I don't remember who said that yesterday. You know what? I'm gonna one sec, chat. This is worthy of a shout out. Simon. It was Simon. Yeah, Simon said, something about privacy policy. I'm like, that's a great idea. I should probably add one of those. Being a lawyer and whatnot. Will be a lawyer when my CLEs are updated again, which I've been also working on behind the scenes. Dude, CLEs are such a pain in the ass. CLEs stand for continuing legal education, and you have to basically take a certain amount of hours per year to do it. The last 4 years, I've been so deep in startup mode that I kind of let it lapse, and so I've been catching up on those to get it back, and actually working on a website to make it free for those as well, but another side project. Anyway, we now have a privacy policy page. We have a terms of service page, and these are just kind of boilerplate, but I think it's still good to have in there. To do so, updated our resources page, and I am working on getting a Discord community going with this. I haven't looked too hard yet, so that might be a weekend project, but I think that would be cool too, just because that's where most streamers live, is just Discord, and I think it's a good way to do that. Also, kind of change the pricing model to just think of like what would be probably and this is if you tuned in yesterday, back to that stream where we basically just thought through from a product lens. Like, most people are probably just going to want one kind of co-host to use at a time, and we want to make people happy chat, so we gave them that as kind of the default way to do it. I think it makes more sense that way, and if they want to add more, they can do that. And for my purposes, for the podcast, I definitely want to have multiple in there at the same time as a way to kind of having some back and forth between them. But I assume most people are just going to want to do this one, and then we'll do this as a trial. Excuse me. And then we'll do different versions of that as we go. So we'll see. I'm not too worried about that right now. Integrations, I've been thinking about this as well, as like, how do we turn this into an API where other apps could potentially use it for other things? And it doesn't have to be just streamers. Like, I was thinking, if you're in a Zoom call or something and you want an avatar there, or like some other situation where you just want to have some back and forth, you can do that. Or even almost like a character AI kind of situation where you just kind of go to the website, and then you have your avatar that you talk to, and or all four of them, which is probably more advantageous for that use case of like you just want to have a conversation, and just a bunch of friends hanging out. You can kind of open it up for that. So there might be some social networking kind of situations for that. I think that would be kind of fun as well. But in the meantime, I think it's getting close, chat. And the logo is growing on me, by the way. Like, I was not loving it at first, but now, shout out to P.E. Cooper, by the way. We were DMing all day about different things, and I think he steered me in the right direction on that one. So appreciate you, PE, if you're tuning in. So HostFabric this is the back end, by the way, chat. If you're new to the stream, just making sure we're still live. Love that. Okay. Pop a little Zinni delight. yeah, so this is what you get. Basically, the ability to say like which um I asked, okay, I don't know, still don't know what I think about this, by the way. I asked for some whimsy and this is what it gave me. And it's interesting, but also maybe a little obnoxious, so I don't know. We'll see. But basically, this allows for you to have those as your co-hosts, and based on how you do the settings here, you can have, you know, them separated in different ways around the screen. You can do different versions of this, but I'm also working on a version of this page that's like, you know, basically starting with one, right? Because with one, you don't really need a lot of the, you know, different default or the, you don't really need much more than just, you know, where to put it on here and then just where to put the text beneath it and then the name maybe, but that'll be something we work on tonight. The avatars themselves are now pretty bulletproof. So if you see, if I click a different one here, it should change in real time. Should change in real time. Is not changing in real time. Love that. Do we have to refresh? Okay. Oh no. Our cookie banner. Shit. Okay, well, that's a good thing to note. So let's get our list out, chat. By the way, most of those, the above, are done. I just got to go through it and we'll knock them off. But remove the cookie banner from the overlay page because that's not helpful there. Oh yeah, we also added Google Analytics. We got to make sure that those are working. These are good. I haven't done these two yet. I want to still check out Google and the new 11 Labs model for TTS because it's supposed to be amazing. Especially the 11 Labs one is like crazy fast. So we'll check that out in a little bit. That's good now. Actually, no, not completely. We still got to add this one tonight, chat. Let's start at the top. This is something we're going to test tonight. So does speech to text require the HostFabric tab to be active or only open in the background? TBD. Should we explicitly prompt users to enable STT and explain the requirements? Probably. And then we got to make this more known as well. But that shouldn't be too bad. So chat integrations is also something I want to test tonight. I did a refactor on those. So hopefully they are, sorry chat, it's going to get loud for a sec. Okay, sorry about that. Basically we want to test the integrations. Did a bunch of round of updates on that. So we'll check that to confirm it's good to go. Edit command. I think that's fixed, but let's check that quick. So that's under settings. Chat integrations, or sorry, chat commands. It's better. We probably still want it a little bit darker, so we'll keep that on there. But I added a couple other ones, so you can do the point or the audience vote now, which basically means that if there's like a debate between the AI, as in like this debate mode here, it will kick off a poll for the chat to do like an intro one, so before it starts and then after, as a way to see if they persuaded you either way, which I think is kind of fun. The rest of these, so custom response is just, do you want a text response from it? Reaction trigger is like, if a certain amount of, or like you can basically trigger the AI to do some different animations based on that. AI question is you can ask the chat can ask the AI a specific question to talk through, which I think would be, it's dangerous but also fun. I've upped our game on what words that you can say for that and semantically, and I got like a naughty word list, so hopefully it's kind of defangs it a little bit, but we'll see. Points info is like your if you're on like Twitch and you have I love Pastily, by the way. If you guys don't know about Pastily, he's this Australian streamer. He's so chill. He's one of the like OG Escape from Tarkov streamers, which is releasing their 1.0 this weekend. So he's like did this big event about it, and he's just super chill, really good dude. He's like former military. He's dad mode now, and it's just been fun to kind of follow him go through that process. But yeah, he's got these things, well, they all have these things called channel points, right? So basically this thing in the bottom right here, if you watch the stream for a certain amount of time or donate bits, which are like the equivalent of like, I actually don't know the dollar equivalent to them, especially if he's in Australia, but you can see here I have 5,000 channel points, and then you can do things like claim, or this is how you earn them, right? And if you're a subscriber, they multiply by the different points. But then you can do things like if you send a message to their stream, you can send it with message effects, which is pretty cool. So let's try one quick. Let's do the Kappa emote. No, Kappa means like gigantifying emote. No. Oh, that's it. Only for emotes. Okay. Let's just do a message effect. What do we want to do? We'll do this one. And how do we do it? Actually, I haven't done this before, so I don't know. We're learning, chat. This is market research. Okay, select emote party. 20 bits. Oh, you have to pay in bits. Oh. Well, how to use your channel points? Okay, these must be channel points. Yeah. Okay, the yellow circle ones are channel points. So let's choose an emote. Pestilygasm. Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay, so it says, congratulations, you can now use Pestilygasm for 24 hours from the emote picker. Happy emoting. So what that means is follows chat rules. I should do that for Monday as well. But if you type Pestilygasm, then it shows okay, so you see that we just sent that in, and it shows that. Anyway, that's a cool way to have interactivity with this. It also, so if you ever do like bang commands, like I don't know what his are, but it's a way that you can interact with his stream directly, basically. So like if there's another one that does this well is Burnt Peanut. He's kind of the best streamer or up and coming streamer. PE and I were talking about him the other day, and you can interact like with the outfits that his avatar wears and different things, and it's just a really cool way to just add some functionality to it. So I say all that to say, we're going to enable that through this process here, and I'll show you what it looks like to create one. So it says enter command name without. So let's say AI question. So let's do AI question, exact match, enter exact text viewer must type. AI question. And the response type, trigger AI reaction. Interesting. Okay, well, I don't see something in here for AI question, so let's prompt our homies. By the way, you see I added a fourth one today just because I needed some extra horsepower, so added another ChatGPT one in here, which by the way was updated today to 5.1. I've been testing it all day. It's really good chat. It's concise. It's had zero issues the whole day, and it's just smart. Like, it's really smart. So let's say here, I selected AI question from the create new command modal, and am not seeing an option for AI question in the dropdown. Please add or please match the dropdown capabilities to the abilities we have at the top of the modal. Again, this thing is called a modal. It looks like a pop-up. It's not. It's kind of a fake pop-up. But, oh, I shouldn't have closed it. But it's yeah, think of it kind of like a pop-up in functionality, but it doesn't get hit with like the pop-up blockers or anything, just because most of the time it's actual functionality that you can use here. So yeah, actually, let's do this first, and then we'll test it again. And this is on, so this is one of the trickier pieces once you launch your website, right? So all this is currently on HostFabric.ai, hosted on Vercel. So for us to look at this and see how it works, we got to do our localhost version. So we're going to be back to this one, which is localhost 3000, which is our local version of the website. It should be a one-to-one since it's we just pushed our changes, but yeah, that's what we got to do to develop it. Okay, so we'll see the changes here, and then let's also say, also make the background of the modal darker, and make sure all the inputs make sense, especially if the user wants to, or especially to enable the user, the viewer, to interact with certain AI, such as AI question text, or let's say like AI question AI. Make this simple for both the user and the streamer. I've been trying this lately where you just tell it more broadly, like use this perspective, right? Like use the perspective of these personas, use this perspective of this, who's using the website or who's going to be interacting with the page or the code. And I've gotten much better results, so highly recommend that as an option for you. So we'll see if it'll give us some simpler ways to do this, because it's going to be tricky, because if they type in like AI question, do you have to do like Claude and then something like the actual question, or it's not clear from this, and I want to make everything crystal clear and keep it simple for people. And once we do this, then we'll look in our chat integrations and confirm that we're able to get these connected, number one, and number two, that they work on both Twitch and YouTube. So we're going to be testing for both those today. I did notice a little bug here too. See how this kind of bleeds into the background? We want that removed. So let's go here and say remove the green background in between these two containers on the integrations page. By the way, I can finally paste in images again for codecs, so that's a win. Anything else that happens, big fan of that. That is cool. Okay, so let's figure out how to do this on Twitch. Whoa, trippy. Okay, I don't know. Well, let's see if it helps us to find it, because the streamers are going to have these same questions, right? So let's see if we can actually do this from here. So create a Twitch app, go to Twitch Developer Console. Oh, Lord. Okay, I've done this before, apparently. Let's delete this one. Register your application. And create a new application. Get an OAuth token. Use a tool like Twitch Chat OAuth token generator. Okay. This is still too complicated, chat. So, what do we do when things are too complicated? We say make it simpler. Review these screenshots. It is too complicated for the user to do this with these instructions. Look online and research. what is the simplest way we can accomplish this? And then update the page with those simple instructions. Okay. So if you can't do it as a developer who has the actual app, your users aren't going to be able to use it either. I don't even think this works anymore. Yeah. So Twitch apps TMI token generator discontinued. It's not helping anybody. Okay. Actually, we should mention that. Also, this is deprecated. Find another option. Okay, so it's cooking on that. Let's try our YouTube version. This one wasn't too bad. So enable our YouTube API. Just move it over here for a sec so I don't accidentally show all the APIs. Okay, so we need our YouTube API. Let's search for that. Okay, so you basically get it from this page, which isn't too bad. It took me one search here, which is annoying, but doable. So let's add our API key quick. Sorry, chat, one sec. So copy that. And then live chat ID, which is still kind of an open question. I think it's this, sorry, one sec. I don't know when it shows shit or not, so I gotta keep it a little bit chill. But let's go to here, and then okay, then we'll do for the record, their user interface is not super user friendly. Is it this one? It is not. Love that. Okay. Let's try a different one. And again, if it's complicated for me, it's complicated for them. So we're going to have to switch this, but hopefully this will be less painful. Okay, so I think it's this key here. So I'm going to copy that and then paste that into here. And of course, it refreshed. So I got to get our API key again. Copy that. Paste that. Okay, almost there, chat. Okay, stream. Stream, key, copy, paste. And let's see if that works. Okay, so I saved our credentials in YouTube live chat, which is good because we just beat the clock. Oh shit. It doesn't save it. which actually is a bigger issue because that should save it to the database. And it's probably just saving it to local storage. So we'll have to fix that. But in the meantime, also, do you see the bug? I'll give you 10 seconds. Let me know if you see the bug. 3, 2, 1. Okay. So notice how if you hover over this, you still have the corner that's, and again, some of this stuff is pedantic, but every little bit counts, chat. So I'm gonna just copy that and say, on the integrations page of the settings, when you hover over the main container, it shows a square corner instead of the rounded corner. Resolve this surgically. Okay, let's see if that gets us closer. Okay, so ChatGPT, one of them is done. It said it now wraps the Twitch/YouTube cards in a border radius dark integrate. Okay, so it was fixing that earlier. Integrations now wraps the Twitch YouTube cards in a... Okay, so that's what it did. So I should have actually told it to do this change because it has the context of what to do with this, but I think we'll be okay with that one there. In the meantime, let's see what our homeboy Claude says. Twitch integration instructions completely simplified. I've researched and updated the Twitch setup instructions to make them dramatically simpler for users. Good. What was wrong before? Create a developer app, deprecated link, multi-step process, unclear what username to use. Agree. 3-step process. Go to Twitch token generator. Sounds sketchy. Is this a real thing? This developer tool is used to generate tokens with the Twitch API, Twitch chat, and Twitch pub sub. Use the tool. Huh. Why would this not just be through Twitch? Twitch token generator can now use client secret and ID that you provide. If you do not wish to use Twitch tokengenerator.com's client secret, your client ID only works with generate functionality. These values are pasted below and will be saved as cookies in your browser. When you generate a token, these will be sent to Twitch tokengenerator.com server, and a token will be generated using them. You must redirect URL to your Twitch dev application to twitchtokengenerator.com. That's crazy, right? Also, if some random ass third-party website can do this, we can do this too. Heard a message come in. Is that a scam, Jadis? You actually think it's a scam? Straight up might be. If you have a better version for that, please let me know. I'd love to do the real version. It's weird that they, because the other version of this was a third-party website too, which doesn't make sense to me. By the way, how I got to their code for this, if you ever on a website want to see like the code behind the scenes, just do Control U. Then you can see the DOM of their website, so you can look through it and see if there's anything more or less sketchy than any other website. Nothing's jumping out at me as crazy, but you can't tell. So also, with that said, I still don't understand why we need a third party to do this. That's really weird. Let's ask. Why do we need a third party website to do this? Can't we do all of this through Twitch directly? I don't trust first party websites for something like keys that streamers will generate. So I wouldn't do this, and we shouldn't force other streamers to do that as well. So let's get that cleaned up. It is weird that Twitch doesn't just make that process simpler, because if your ecosystem is easy to use for developers, then they build more shit onto your app, and it's just better for everybody. So if this is what we do to get to that, then that shouldn't be too bad. Like, we can just give the streamer, like, hey, use this, and this for that process. That shouldn't be too hard. Actually, thinking about that, let's take a screenshot of that. Just say also, can't we just use this to do so? Research this online. The simplest and best process to do so. Good call out, Jadis. Thank you for that. Appreciate you, brother. So it looks like you can do OAuth. Well, this is just the default OAuth. I don't know why they linked to this. It's kind of crazy. Maybe we have to make an extension. I don't know. If we do, we'll figure that out. Let's try it. Oh shit. Well, hold please while I reset my Twitch client ID. Love that. This is one of the dangers of live coding shit, chat. I'm gonna delete that in a minute here. Delete. It's hilarious to me how all of these legacy, like, amazingly big websites like X and Twitch and even YouTube, like, are just so janky on the back end. Like, it shouldn't surprise me anymore, but it still does, chat. And it actually gives me a little bit of I don't know, hope that, like, anybody can do this, and you too can create a shitty website back end. And actually, this isn't unique to websites. Like, I used to work at a 100,000 person company, and the amount of duct tape that I saw them put on processes that would handle billions of dollars, like, mind blowing. So If you ever feel like your code isn't up to standards or your own personal standards, like most of the big people that are doing web design or web, modern web, anything, will have a shittier version of it. So don't feel bad about it. All right, let's see what Claude says. I like that it gets the date right now. That's good. Okay, perfect. I've implemented the industry standard OAuth flow that actually is the simplest and most secure method for your users. Here's why it's better than the alternative. What I just built. One-click secure OAuth. Connect with Twitch button. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, why didn't you do that at the beginning? Authorize on Twitch TV. Official first party. Automatically redirected back. Brother. Security benefits. No third-party tokens. Users never have to handle OAuth tokens. Tokens stored securely. Tokens stored encrypted in your database. Users authorized directly on Twitch. Automatic token refresh. Wow. That's amazing. Yeah, we don't want to register your application. What all major platforms do. Streamlabs or Stream Elements, Streamlabs OBS. All use OAuth. Great. Okay, what's live? So we now have an API auth Twitch callback route, which is this, which we had before, but now we have the ability to handle OAuth tokens from that. Chat integration panels. Big purple connect with Twitch button. Manual setup option hidden under advanced. Success errors. No third-party dependencies. Hallelujah. Okay, chat, let's check it out. For something like this, if it's like a route change, you usually want to restart your server. So I'm going to do Control-C, up arrow, which is just whatever's last in the terminal. And you notice that we switched from PNPM to NPM, and that's just because Vercel, which is our host, runs better with NPM. So I switched everything in our app to use NPM as our package manager instead of PNPM. So hopefully to good effect. So let's go to our dashboard. Settings. Chat integrations. Connect with Twitch. Let's go. Add your Twitch credentials to enable chat commands. Setup required. Configure your Twitch bot credentials here. Setup, secure setup, which is recommended. Okay. I wonder if we have to do anything. Okay, so let's copy this. And notice what's weird about this URI. URI is like a more specific version of URL, by the way. So if you ever hear like URL, like Universal Resource Locator, URI is like that for a specific website. URL, I don't know what the difference is, but it's the same thing basically. But what's interesting about it is it's using our old version on Vercel instead of our new version. So let's paste this, say when we click the button to connect or to connect to Twitch for our OAuth token. We get the following URL and response. note that the URI should be HostFabric.ai instead of the old Vercel URL. Also, it aired out. All right, let's see what it says. Cheap viewers, hey, thank you for that great spam, bud. Appreciate you. Hope you're having a beautiful night, bot. Hope you don't have too many fights with ChatGPT or Claude. You know, Grok I think would hold his own against a viewer bot. That sounds pretty rough. So good luck. Okay. So this is actually on our end. So what this is saying is that our env.local file, which I'm not going to open because it has all of our APIs and stuff in it, but it's saying that this key, so next public URL, is not set to this in Vercel. Oh, in Vercel. Interesting. Okay, so let's check both. I'm going to open up Vercel over here. Okay, one sec, chat. Settings. Actually, let's go to deployments and then settings. Environment variables. And what was it? Next public URL. Okay, so we actually have next public site URL and next public app URL. So let's tell it to use one of those. Sorry, and env.local. Oh man, so chat, I went to this sauna cold plunge combo today, this afternoon. It's basically like you sit in a sauna for like 20 minutes, which you sweat like crazy. Like you lose like, I swear, like a gallon of sweat. And then you jump in water that's, I think they had it at 37 degrees. So it's like shocking your body both ways. Feels amazing. It's cold as hell and hot as hell. But like, it's supposed to be one of the best, like, and I'd said this the other day, but Brian Johnson had a video about this. So you can watch that. That shows that there was a study out of Norway that had like, I think 50% drop in like all-cause mortality if you do it 3 to 5 times a week. So if you want to jump in a sauna and then cold plunge, it's a good thing to do. Except it is makes you hella tired. So I've actually been dragging the rest of the day. Usually kind of wakes you up for a while, but I don't know what it was today. It kind of hit me harder. Also was up till like 7 a.m. coding this thing, so that probably doesn't help. But anyway, updated the code to use next public URL, which I already have set. Here's what changed. OAuth implementation uses next public site URL. Our OAuth callback now uses this. Updated our docs. Good, good. Still need to do add Twitch to redirect URI. Okay. So let's add that. And let me see if I can do this in a way that is still helpful. But okay, so on Vercel, right? You go to your project and then you go to settings, and then environment variables. Your client key is, not in this case, Twitch redirect URI. And then we're going to copy this. Or sorry, this rather. Paste that as a value. And save. Already exists. Love that. Hold, please. I'm not seeing it, chat. Oh, there it is. Ah, okay. So we already had it in our keys, and it used an old version. So that's what's messing it up. So we're going to edit that to use this. Hit save. And then since it changes the environment variable, you're going to have to redeploy for that to take effect. But we're going to hold off on that because it's going to redeploy when we push all these changes to GitHub anyway. So we'll just chill with that for a minute. Find your app client ID is this. Chat, I'm going to change that. So don't copy it, please. Add OAuth redirect URL. Okay, update Twitch developer console. So this is what it's saying here. So we're going to call this HostFabric. Our redirect URL is this. Sorry, this. And this is a chatbot. Do we make it public? Find your app. Click save, redeploy. Let's take a screenshot and just say, do we make this? Do we make this public or confidential? I love AI, chat. Can you imagine how long this would take without it? How many random docs you'd have to read to try to find the answer to this stuff? It's crazy. Okay, so choose confidential, which is already selected. Here's why. Confidential, your application runs on a server, Next.js backend. The client secret stored securely in Vercel environment variables. Womp womp. Which we're changing, chat. OAuth token exchange happens server to server. Client secret never exposed to users or browsers. Most secure option. Okay, cool. So chatbot and confidential. So I'm going to hit create. Client name already exists. Did we already create one? Or is it out in the wild already? Well, shoot, chat. Hold please. Might have to rename the entire company. Yeah, I didn't think it was. I'd done a couple of these. I didn't see it anywhere. That's one of the reasons I chose the name, by the way. So apparently it's already a thing. HostFabric AI. If all else fails, throw AI in the end, chat. Okay, we're going to copy this. Do that. It's a chatbot, confidential. There we go. Let's copy this. Paste it here and say, good to go. Add to add. HostFabric AI because HostFabric was already taken. Okay, then I'll see for some next steps after that, or we'll see about that. In the meantime, let's go check our updates to the chat integrations, or sorry, to the chat commands page. See if we have a better background, which we do. We do. Okay, it's darker. Let's see if this is more simplified. Custom response, send a chat message or text plus action. Pair copy with an action or key. I don't know about you, chat. Maybe I'm dumb, but that is not helpful. Oh, maybe it's... Oh, okay, cool. Okay. So it's different relative to the command type that you select. So for AI question, sweet. Okay. Okay, sick. Let's test this. So enter command without bang. AI question. Exact text viewers must type. Exact text viewers must type. Viewers run it like... Again, this is less than helpful. Who is working on that? Is it you? Is still too complicated. Go through all of the text helper strings and simplify for the streamer. And by proxy, us. Okay, so it says add to Vercel environment variables. Okay, let's go to the top here. So it says, perfect, I've updated the code to use next public site URL. We already did that. So choose confidential, which is already there. We've done that. Perfect, your Twitch OAuth app is now created. Get your client credentials. Click manage on the HostFabric AI app to view client ID and client secret. Save the client secret immediately. You can only see it once. And then add to Vercel environment variables. Okay. So if we can only see this once, let's do that one first. For client secret. So we're going to copy this. Go to Vercel. We can add it here. And then, okay, one sec, chat. So I'm seeing our client ID. I accidentally closed Vercel. Twitch client secret. No spaces. Save. The fuck? I already have that? Chat, what is happening? Okay, so Twitch client secret. Okay, so we're going to edit that. Save that. And then what's our ID? Client ID. All right, one sec chat. Client ID, okay. So I'm pasting that in here, saving it, and then okay. So then we just need to find where the secret is. Keep it secret, keep it safe. Name that movie. Where's the client ID? Or sorry, secret. Okay, client secret passed. The next token exchange, endpoints to obtain token. Yes. Okay. Literally the jankiest UI I've seen. Chat, it's so bad. Okay, so we have our secret, copying it, pasting it. Let's confirm that they're the right thing. Beautiful. And what we should probably do is do this on localhost too, just to make sure that we're synced up from our Vercel implementation to our version that we have on our computer, which is the localhost. So I'm going to edit those as environment variables or update them actually here. So I'm going to just do that real quick, and then that'll be the last thing we have to update, hopefully. Okay. So I updated them, and I'm going to close this and then restart the server, because if you update your environment variables, you have to restart to make things pop. Okay, so we have our developer application here, and so now let's go back here to see. Also verify these are set. Next public site URL. So let's check on that. And you do that in Vercel again. So I'm just going to do a search for that. Okay, we have that one. Let's check this one. Do not have that one, so let's add it. Twitch redirect URI. And copy this. And paste that. Paste, paste, paste. Save. A variable with the name Twitch redirect URI already exists. I literally just searched for this, chat. What the hell? Okay, I'm gonna okay. Edit. Okay, we got that already. So dumb. Except I gotta check to confirm that we have that in our env.local. We do not, so that's good, chat. Interesting. Okay, so that's what was giving us some issues, actually. Basically, is pointed at the old version of that that we had earlier. So, good thing to check. All right, I'm gonna save this again, close this, and then okay, so we should be good there. We've checked both Vercel and our localhost version, so the files that we have on our computer here. So now if we rerun this, we're able to test. Okay, added both to .env.local as well as on Vercel. Just asking, do we have to deploy it to test? Which we might. If we do, that's fine, because we know it takes a minute. So we just basically commit these changes to GitHub, and then we will be able to test it from there. Okay, so add localhost to Twitch. The Twitch OAuth redirect URLs. Go to Twitch Developer Console, manage. Okay, let's do that quick. So on Twitch, your dev, Twitch console, apps, click manage on HostFabric, and then add a URL. Okay. Save. You should now have two redirect URLs, this and this, which we do. Then test locally. Okay. So let's close this, run it again. And then let's go to that integrations page and test it. So I'm gonna do refresh. I'm gonna open up our developer console before we go to the page, because then we get all the good on the network, as well as any console errors that happen. So when we click this, hopefully we see some good. Hey, chat. Let's go. Let's go. All right. This is beautiful. Okay. Authorizing will allow HostFabric AI to send live stream chat and rooms messages. Cool. Perform moderation actions, view your whisper messages and send whisper messages, and view live stream chat and room messages. This is sick. Created less than a day ago. I mean, they're not wrong. Let's be honest. Awkward. Okay, so we, it game be the game. Okay, so let's see what happens now. Interesting. So it gives us back to the old page. Also, it didn't fix this. We gotta fix that. But anyway, let's copy this and say we successfully enabled Twitch through OAuth. OAuth to connect, but on redirect, the Twitch chat integration did not look like it updated nor saved. credentials, tokens. And I know that we're getting pretty close to the end here. So you can see context low, 12% remaining. So chat, pray that this is able to get this done before we have to do a compact, which basically takes all of the previous context and like smushes it down and basically runs like a, you know, like whenever you say ChatGPT, like take this 50-page PDF and give me the bullet points. That's basically what it does when you do a / compact on Claude Code or Codex. I have noticed that Codex kind of auto does it sometimes now. So on really, really long. Sorry, I'm gonna fix this quick. Sparing your ears, chat. Oh, this has been on the whole time, that thing. Did we get rid of that, by the way? Did the cookie thing? I don't remember if we asked one of the homies to get rid of it. We probably didn't, so let's do that quick. Okay. So Claude now says, this is kind of hard to read. Let me get rid of some of these. Okay, a little bit easier to read. And it will stay this janky way. That's just, I don't know how to refresh it. So I think on the next thing that you run, we'll do it for you. Okay, so it says, excitedly, I found the issue. The integration credentials table doesn't exist in your database yet. Thanks, bud. That's why the credentials aren't being saved. Let me create a migration for this table. Okay, so lately I've just found that it's simpler to run this manually on Supabase. Because apparently both Codex and Claude forgot how to use the CLI for Supabase, which is hella annoying, but game be the game, chat. Okay, so what we're going to do is go to our SQL editor in the project and paste the SQL that it just generated here. So we can see these are the files that have been updated, by the way, since our last commit. So you can see the red ones mean it got rid of this, and the green stuff is the stuff that it added. And if it's this, which is our SQL file, which has this little icon that looks like a database, we're just going to copy all that and paste it into our SQL environment, which is using Supabase, which is a Postgres database. And then we're just going to hit run. We're going to get an error. We're going to copy it. And then right mouse click. And it will fix it. And it will run it again. And it will work. This is simpler when you just tell it like run the Supabase CLI to do this. But I swear it takes about 6 different back and forths to get it to work. And so I've just found it's easier to write the code manually or copy paste and run it manually, I guess. Still getting this error. So what that usually means is I need to, not error, but it's not saving these changes. So when that happens, I usually just go to reload window, which like basically refreshes the entire environment. We're using cursor, but it works for any like VS Code environment or that kind of thing. But it said it made the updates to the SQL query. Let's rerun that, and it should say success, no rows returned. Beautiful. Okay, last one, and then we're gonna compact. Promise, chat. And then hopefully we will get rid of this cookie thing too. So let's check that actually. Oh, we can't because it's currently pointed to HostFabric, which is the URL on the Vercel implementation. So what that means is we got to push these first with our fixes, hopefully to not include that. It says remove the cookie banner from the overlay page. Updated cookie consent to check path names and skip rendering on routes starting with overlay. The banner will appear on other pages, but not the overlay page. This keeps the overlay clean for streaming. Beautiful. It's kind of cool that it just knows that already. Like I didn't tell it any of that. I literally just said remove the cookie banner from the overlay page. It picked it up, which is pretty sick. Okay, so perfect. The migration ran successfully. The integration credentials table is now created. Test the OAuth flow. Go to the integrations page, click connect with Twitch, authorize, check the logs. Verifying database, optional. So we'll run this after we do our integration test. Let's do this to go back to here. I'm going to restart our server and refresh this page. Let's go connect with Twitch. Authorize. Interesting. Okay. Not great. Let's run our SQL to see if it came through. Okay, so when it says success, no rows returned, that means it didn't find anything. A couple of videos back, I was like confused by this. I'm a dumbass. It's basically, it just means like, okay, the query ran, but we didn't return any rows. So let's say restarted server, clicked connect, and successfully went through process. But it didn't save to the database. I ran the above query and got back that. Also the UX on the integrations page. Shit. Forgot, we're at 5%. This is what sucks about getting low. It's like that tension between do we compact and just do it again or not, but we'll get it, chat. Okay, so that's cooking for Twitch. Let's see if we can do the same for YouTube. So I'm going to compact one of our ChatGPTs. Actually, we've had pretty good luck with Sonnet. So let's do that for this. Paste that image and say, is there a simpler way to connect to YouTube OAuth like we are currently doing with Twitch. Review our recent changes to the Twitch OAuth workflow and simplify this process. All right, chat. Simplify this process. We want this to be dead simple for the streamer to implement. Let's see what we get. Okay. Perfect, I found the issue. The problem was that the callback was using the anon key, which has RLS enabled, instead of the service role key, which has bypasses RLS. RLS is row level security. Row level security means like anytime you have a query in your database that it has another column that basically gives like an ID of the user that's running the query. And it will say something to the effect of like, only give the rows for that ID or for that user in the table. So it's saying that the anon key, which is what it was using to connect, can't access anything because it doesn't match to any of the column rows that have RLS enabled on, which is all of them. So instead it's using a service role key, which is like an admin key, if you will. All right, so it's saying, make sure you have this in Vercel. We do. Did it actually update anything? Credential stores, service key. Okay, yeah. Beautiful. Okay, so we're gonna restart the server. And then back to our integrations page, refresh. That's weird. Shit. Now we gotta come back. Right when we get to the good part, chat. So let's do this. Let's copy that image, say, not seeing the connect to connect with Twitch button. Seeing the old version, which we should remove if we can just use OAuth. All right, let's see what it does, chat. All right, everybody having fun? Everybody having a good day? Loving life? Sorry about this. We'll move it up here a little bit more. I know it's probably annoying. We'll get that going. I also want to test some of the actual text-to-speech updates too, because I think those should be in a much better spot. So maybe let's do that now while it's bumping with the other stuff. So let me pause the music for a sec, and let's see if this works here. Okay, so what we should be seeing is our homies here. Hold, please. By the way, it's Movember. I'm gonna roll with it, chat. I know it's ugly stash, but fuck it, we ball. Okay, so let's go here, and then how we're gonna test this is by going to our page here and say, hey, how you guys doing today? error, chat. 502 error. I think that might be the first 502 error I've ever got. It's like Pokemon. You got to catch them all, right? Okay, so let's go here. That's actually really weird. I haven't seen that one before. Okay, but we have a different way to chat to test it. Hey, how's it going? Hey, how's it going? Nothing? Really? Okay. Interesting. All right. Well, that's another bug, I guess. It might have something to do with this and some of the audio issues with that we were having yesterday. So it's actually probably that, but we'll get it debugged, chat. That's how it works. Let's refresh the cache quick. Let's try it again. Hello. Okay, cool. Well, we got a little bit more work to do, chat. What's interesting is like if you open this overlay, let's see if we can hear him from this. Hello. So I'm going to close this. See if we can get him to say anything. Okay, still no. Interesting. Well, we'll get a truck in chat. Hello, can you guys hear this? Test. Okay, so we're still getting our unexpected token, which is what we just fixed. So hopefully that that will get fixed when we push this update in a sec here. And I know it works localhost, so I'm not too worried about it. So we do our localhost 3000, display, open display. Oh yeah, I updated the loading thing too, by the way. Hope you guys like that. So let's add all these back. Hello. It's going to take a sec just because that's a recompile before they respond.
Hey there. Great to see you in the street. What can I do for you today? Questions, a topic, or just hanging out? Hey there. Great to see you in the stream. I'm HostFabric. What can I do for you today? Questions, a topic, or just hanging out? Hey there. Great to see you in the stream. I'm HostFabric. Hey there. Great to see you in the stream.
Chat.
I'm HostFabric. What can I do for you today? Questions, a topic, or just hanging out?
I swear to God, this is working an hour ago.
Questions, a topic,
Well,
or
3
just
hours
hanging
ago.
out?
Okay, so a couple issues. Let's test the TTS. Hey, how's it going? Can you guys hear this? That seems better.
Hey, great to see you in the stream. I'm HostFabric. I'm doing well, thanks. How about you?
HostFabric.
Yep, we can hear you loud and clear. Sounds good on my end. If you want a mic check, say something else or drop a quick clap.
ChatGPT, what's the meaning of life? I mean, it's a tough
Want to
question.
explore what gives your life meaning, relationships, work, passions, or something else? Great question. Classic big one. Short version. There may be no single universal answer. Many people find meaning through relationships, curiosity, creative work, growth, and helping others, and that meaning often changes over time.
Fair points, brother. Okay, so chat, we got some work to do. Hopefully you guys saw that come through. If I updated our URL to use this URL, we would hear them on the stream too. So let's test that quick, actually. And it's, there's something, I think it's, I've been trying to work on a way to only update it through, or only to have one at a time kind of going. And so that's why only ChatGPT, since it's our primary host, and we can do this focus host thing. But working on a way to make that simpler process too. So let's try this. Cool. Serena, what's up? How we doing, buddy? Hope you're having a great day, man. Just testing apparently broken situations here. So, hey, ChatGPT, what is the meaning of life? Short answer.
Want a quick list of practical ways people find meaning? Short version. Meaning of life is what you make of it, building connection, growing, and contributing to something larger than yourself.
Okay. I'm down for that. Okay, so chat, 2 issues, or 3 issues I just noticed. First, the latency is back. So the thing that we fixed yesterday. Latency on responses. Actually, I think that's going to go away once we deploy it again to Vercel. So I'm not too worried about that. But let's test it on Vercel. And then JSON issues on Vercel version. But I'm not too worried about that one either because it was fixed on our local version. Thanks, brother. Appreciate you. Yeah, it's getting there. We were able to deploy it last night, which is pretty cool. And yeah, now just kind of working through the, the bevy of bugs to try to make it a little simpler. So thanks, dude. How's your day going? Hope you're doing well. Did you get any fun X spaces lately? JSON issues on Vercel version might be fixed locally. And then the third one was only ChatGPT respond, co-host, or sorry, not co-host, but primary host. I think we just have to make this more clear. Like, if you have a primary host, then only that avatar will respond. If not, then multiple will do so. So hopefully that makes it simpler and easier to work with as we go through it. Bunch of fun X spaces. Aisha and Sawazito. Very cool. Yeah, they're both a fun hang, for sure. That's awesome. I was in I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, Aisha's space. And it was a couple weeks ago, and they were like, hey, also join this random like Zoom call thing in a little bit, which was basically like Secrets of the Universe by Jim, spacing his name, 2 Jims, one of which was like the head of research for NASA. And I think Sarah knew him from a while back too, in some spaces, so I kind of knew him a little bit, or knew of him. And then this other dude who's also like this old school NASA alum, brilliant guy, and like walked through this amazing hour-long session with like a small group on Zoom for free about like basically the start of the universe. And it just reminded me like how cool connections are, right? Like I was getting coffee and on a walk and randomly tuned into the space because I think Fitz might have invited me to that one or something. And then just randomly 2 hours later, I'm in a Zoom call with like some brilliant people and learning about the universe and how it started. So it was really fun. Can you increase your mic volume? Yeah, sorry about that, dude. One sec. Hopefully that's better. Very cool. You got in their Zoom call. 100% high value connections there. 100% agree, bro. It's so fun and serendipitous and just, it's cool. I love it. Is this better, by the way? Let me know. I can maybe bump up another thing too here. Actually, and if you want me, I can turn down the music a little bit. I'll check on the app here. And thanks for pointing that out, by the way. Normally it's like I go through the whole stream and I don't realize it. So hopefully this is a little bit better. Sounds like it is. Okay. If it isn't, let me know, brother. Appreciate you. Guys, if you don't follow Serena on X, he's one of the most brilliant dudes, kindest dudes, and just a good friend. So he has tons of insights, and you should definitely give him a follow because he's a great guy. Highly, highly recommend. Also, great podcasts, and check those out as well. So, remove cookie banner from the overlay page. We did that. These are the next things to do. For sure, classic streaming challenge. Audio volume is better. You can increase it by 15 to 20%. Thanks, dude. Actually, I literally have everything maxed out right now, so I got to get this figured out. I think there's a way to do it. It's probably just like talking into the mic better, to be honest, but yeah, I don't know. I can't do more than 100. I think there might be a bug. I use this road thing, but this one's already maxed out as well. So I'll try to figure it out for the next stream. And of course, man, you always deserve a shout out. You're a rock star. Interesting. Maybe it's my phone audio. I'm not using Bluetooth now or headphones now. Okay. All good. I will research it thoroughly tomorrow. I promise. Okay. So we're going to try to get this to see the Twitch button, which we hadn't seen before, or we hadn't been able to see before. Okay, so this is saying it did the same thing over here. Beautiful. YouTube now has a one-click OAuth, just like Twitch. Guys, this is so awesome. So now we can just do this. And so instead of this, right, you just literally click a button and say authorize with Google. God bless. Okay. Maybe it's my phone's audio. I'm not using headphones. All good, dude. If it's probably my end, to be honest. And for the life of me, I can't figure out how to Streamlabs without closing it, and then which if I close it, it closes the stream. So that's not super helpful for anybody. But say Levy. Okay, so this is great, guys. Basically, it's saying that it created these OAuth routes, handles callback and stores credentials, updated our UI for it. Big red connect with YouTube button, love it. Success error message, love it. Manual setup, which I don't know if we'll ever need or use, so I don't know if that's helpful. Okay, so environment variables, updated live env to include this. Okay. By the way, if you ever look at a like an MD file when you're coding like this, and you want to see like the output version of it, click on that thing. I don't know what it was called, but basically it gives you like how like a processed version of that MD doc, right? So then you can see it in the sexy like you know, way it should be seen. So let's read through this a little bit. HostFabric now supports simple one-click YouTube OAuth integration chat. Instead of manually creating API keys and having that live chat IDs, user can simply click connect with YouTube. I love that so much. And authorize HostFabric through Google's official OAuth flow. Okay, so what do? We have to create a Google Cloud project. So let's click on this. Sign in with your Google account. Select a project, new project. Okay, we're already in a project. Actually, maybe I should create a new one because this one's for Monday, or MONDAI rather. Have a great rest of your stream. Thanks, brother. Appreciate you a lot, Serena. Yeah, hope you have a great day too, man. Go kick some ass. Happy Friday, by the way. Okay, so select a project, new project, enter a project name. Let's copy this. Chat, I don't know where to do that. I don't know where to do that. Sign in with your Google account. Select a project, new project. Enter the project name. Where do we do that, chat? LOL what? Oh god. Make it stop. Okay, so this is a project. So we're in a project. Probably have to delete that. Love that. But okay. Click create. In your project, go to APIs and Services Library. Okay, hold please. Okay, YouTube Data API v3. Okay, we already have our YouTube APIs. So we can just use the ones that we have already. Search for YouTube, click enable. We have it enabled. Create OAuth 2.0 credentials. Go to APIs and Services Credentials. Okay. Click Create Credentials OAuth Client ID. Credentials. OAuth 2.0 Client ID. Okay. So we're going to create one of those, chat. I'd love to show you this, but these are secret, so we gotta do it this way. Create credentials. OAuth client ID. To create an OAuth client ID, you must first configure your consent screen. Okay, let's do that. Okay. HostFabric. User support email. Oh no. Apparently it's going to my regular email. We'll just test it from now. Okay. Developer contact your email. Add these scopes. Is this internal or external? External. Okay. Email address, me. Okay, I think we got it, chat. Okay, so for scopes. Now we create the, okay, so we have to create the client. Do we have to create the client? What do we do? API's credentials. Okay. They don't make it easy on your chat. I will promise you that. Okay. Chat, I'm gonna do this tomorrow because this is not fun for you guys and not fun for me either. But let's check in on our yes, remove them and update the documentation to use the OAuth button, and also we have done this for YouTube. Alright, so let's see, what does it say? I see the issue. The changes to chat integrations panel were actually applied. Let me update it now with the new OAuth flow. It read it, but it didn't change anything, which is a little concerning. I can see the code actually does have the connect to Twitch button already, but you're seeing the old version. Yeah, that's what I said. Okay, so it's saying that we just have to do a hard refresh. Hard refresh is a Control-Shift-R, which basically, instead of just saving the cache of whatever is on the web page, this will like get rid of all the recent cache data that you're running into as well. So let's go to our, okay, love that. Let's put U on that. We're going to keep all. Okay, so we'll get these in tomorrow. Okay. So this was going through our docs to get rid of the sketchy website to use the actual OAuth implementation, which we love to see. Okay, so we still have to hard refresh once this error is done. The issue was fetch status because a use effect depends on it. Lord help me, use effects are so painful. You know what? We're gonna set a stream. Like, I'm gonna learn how to use effects. We're all gonna learn together, chat. It's gonna be a eat your vegetables kind of stream, but we'll try to make it less shitty. Okay, so let's go to our chat integrations and go connect with Twitch. We get our authorized screen, and we get our same one as before. Ay, ay, ay. Hard refresh. Saw the button. Accepted. Twitch. OAuth integration. But now see this again in the screenshot. We're gonna get a chat. I'm honestly kind of fading quick, guys. So I'm gonna give it another half hour. We hell or high water. I was gonna go live like legit 2.5 hours earlier, and I was testing different things a lot. So like I would go live like on a private YouTube page and just like test like the audio and visual quality and stuff of everything. It was interesting. I learned a lot, but it's really painful. And then I kept getting all these errors and realized that even though NVIDIA says they can do it, Streamlabs says they can do it, and all the streaming services say they can do it, like the color, like I couldn't get any of these like high-res color things to work right, and the color spaces and the color ranges, and then the SDR levels and all that stuff. So was just literally going back and forth on those, and then I couldn't figure out how to not get it to work. So it was a painful day, but we eventually got there. All right. Let's go back to this. Wow, it's actually using Supabase chat. Let's go. Well, fuck. Okay. Are you kidding me right now? Well, okay. I get to do a lot of updating quickly. Hold please. What the fuck is today, chat? Like, it's like the 5th time that it's just outright showing my all the service accounts, everything else. God damn it. Okay, let me revoke this one quick. Chat. I swear to God, like I streamed for 11 hours yesterday. I had like one time that I showed one of the API keys. And today, this is what? 2.5 hours into it. It's already shown like 5 of them. God damn. Can't win, chat. Okay. All right. Key revoked. Now let me update that. You win some, you lose some, you know? API keys. Okay. Okay. We got new keys. And let me paste them here. Sorry, chat. I know this is annoying, but better safe than sorry. Okay, service key. Okay. All right, chat. We are with new keys. Let's go. Okay. What else? By the way, Claude says, okay, restart your dev server to pick up the changes. It actually used our CLI finally, which is cool, but not helpful in that it shared it with you lovely people. So, all right, let's try this again. So we're going to connect to Twitch. I love this, by the way. This is sick. Like, if this is the way to do it, this is so much better, chat. And again, back to this. So what did it say to do? One sec. Okay, sorry, one sec. Terminal output. I really wish I could show you this chat, but basically, okay, so what it's saying is it added a bunch of debugging, and so I copied the stuff from the server over here. So this, and then pasted it into here. And again, we're gonna swap out all these IDs, so all good, but same issue as before. Let's see if it gets us closer. And usually it's a little quicker than this, so I'm not sure what's going on with that, but yeah, I think it's really close. And honestly, that's such a more beautiful like user experience. I don't even want to touch this, like, because A, no one's going to know how to do it, and B, it's just annoyingly complex. And to be honest, I think we should just say, like, remove this as a possibility altogether, just because our other way to do it is amazing. Okay, so it's saying try it again. So we're going to try it again. Check out our server logs or our console logs rather. And then server logs are in the terminal here. So wherever you run your node server, that's where you're going to get your server logs, because it's the server that's running it, right? And this is the console logs, like what it sends to the server from your browser. So we do a hard refresh, Control Shift R again, and we're still seeing configure Twitch credentials. Ironically, with zero, oh, okay. So we have, this is something, another tip or trick, chat. So if you look at your console and you're like, I should be getting some responses, but I don't see any, check to see if you have your level set to the appropriate level, because there should be a lot more in there. Or is there a filter set? Interesting. So, another thing to look out for, chat, is if you're developing locally and you have a version in your hosting environment, that won't tell you those errors. So that's why you have to do localhost version. Localhost is is basically the server. So think of localhost as your local development environment, right? It's technically the same as 127.0.0.1, which is a IP address, which means localhost. So if you ever see like a t-shirt that says like 127.0.0.1, I'm locally hosted or something, I don't know, whatever the nerd version of that is. It's the same as this word, localhost. So I don't know. It might not. So I have to do my port 3000 too. So if you ever see like a colon in a URL, that's what that means, port number. So We're going to do port number 3000. And there we go. So see how localhost 3000 is the same as 127.0.0.1 colon, which is the port number 3000. And we know that it's port number 3000 because that's the default port that node runs on. So when this kicks off, you can either click this and it will just give you your link to localhost 3000. But just for that example, I was telling you about the 127.0.0.1, which is basically like your local computer's version of itself. Think of it like that. So like it can talk to itself on this port number and also localhost 3000. And a lot of times if you have multiple running, like it might be 3001, 2, 3, 4, 5, I've gone up to 7, not fun. But basically it's a good way to develop stuff locally on your computer, and then you ship it off to like GitHub, and then Vercel picks that up and hosts it in the cloud. So that's kind of the order of operations for all that. But let's go back to our chat integrations here. So hopefully we get a bunch of rich logs coming through. I'm going to refresh. Beautiful. So let's connect with Twitch. Notice how we're on Twitch, which is cool. Authorize. Okay, so two things. One, we shouldn't have OAuth deprecated. But it didn't give any logs, which, oh, that's what happens. So it actually sends us to HostFabric.ai, but it's from the localhost. So we can't actually test this right now. So we got to push the code to the cloud and then we'll be able to test it. Okay, that's actually helpful. Remove we only want to use buttons. And if it just doesn't work, it doesn't work. You know, we'll figure it out. But I think this is a much, much better user experience, and we want to give them the simplest, best way to do that. So that's a good way to do so. All right. Okay, so close you, close you. All right, chat. I'm gonna push this, and then I think I might call it because I am fading pretty quick. Dude, I don't know what it is. Like something about the sauna cold plunge combo hits hard, or hit me hard today for some reason. But yeah, hey, everybody, thank you for joining today. I'm really grateful. I know this was like, again, 3 hours after I wanted to start it, but thanks for hanging out. Appreciate everybody watching this journey as like we try to get this crazy thing working. We're really close, chat. We really are. We added a ton of functionality today. We simplified so many different things, and yeah, I'm grateful to have you a part of the journey. So appreciate you. Have an amazing day. And it's Friday. If it's Friday wherever you are, congrats. If it's Friday tomorrow, hope you get a good night's sleep. And yeah, I'm grateful for you. So thank you, and I will see you on the next one. Have a good night.